This episode is brought to you by the Ultimate Girls Trip. Here is our reoccurring daydream. Us at a drool-worthy pool, surrounded by our business besties. We just finished a powerful exercise on building our dream lives and executing our business goals. Join us if you are ready to be celebrated for taking up space, to feel purposeful, and to live a life of fulfillment. Go to proofitspossible.com for more info. Welcome to Proof It's Possible. Jamie and I are multifaceted entrepreneurs, the founders of the Ultimate Girls Trip, and the hosts of Proof It's Possible. Jamie and I are also sisters, best friends, and complete opposites, but somehow we always manage to stay on the same team. Join us every week to hear our thoughts on all things entrepreneurship, friendship, family, pulp culture, and more. Welcome back. Today we are talking about a topic that some people have for sort of mixed emotions about, which is side hustles. So basically the way that some people look at it is that a side hustle is very much just another thing on your plate to have to manage on top of your regular job, your other businesses, whatever your life looks like, being a mother, being a parent. And then other people look at them as a means to freedom. So we wanted to dissect it all here today and chat about our thoughts on a side hustle. Jay, start us off. What do you think?
I think a side hustle, everyone has very limited time in the world that we're living in. But I also think that, if you don't like your job and you want to dip a toe into the entrepreneurial world by starting a side hustle, or you want to take your family on a vacation and you can't afford it unless you start a side hustle, then I'm like, yeah, girl, go for it. 100%, 100% supportive. Why wouldn't you do it? If that's your means for freedom or whatever that looks like for you, if it's just for a vacation fund or if it's truly to get the lunch snacks that you need to have a side hustle, well, then all the power to you. If it's one of those things where you're dying to quit your job, but you literally don't have the courage or the financial means to just outright do it, so you have to baby step it and start with a side hustle and then see how that goes, or you're just not a big risk taker. I know tons of people that they could start a business of their own, but they're just not big risk takers. So they have to convince themselves by doing a baby step, convincing themselves, see that worked, and then baby step, convincing themselves, see that worked, baby step, until eventually they've grown an empire. So I think, yeah, start the side hustle.
Yeah,
I
me too.
also think that there's not all side hustles are created equal. It has to be profitable. It has to be something that you like doing. It has to be lighting your soul on fire or giving you the financial freedom or whatever the end goal was for you. It has to actually achieve those things for it to be worthwhile. It can't just drain all of your time, energy, and resources without being, giving you something in return. But I'm all for it.
Yeah, I totally for me, the most comfortable and obvious way as a new entrepreneur to get into the business that you're thinking about and can't get off your mind and or want to dabble in is to dabble versus be like, I'm quitting my entire job. I'm
Mhm.
stopping everything I'm doing and I'm praying to God, and because I've talked about this before, the easy math on your new business. You can do all the market research and figure out what other coaches or other personal trainers or whatever it is that looks your side hustle looks like. They charge $100 an hour. They charge $300 an hour. And I'm going to do the same. You do have to build it though. So someone that's charging $300 an hour has built up a community. They have built up an audience to buy that product or buy that service. So where someone else is at is not maybe where you're going to start. So I think the nice thing about a side hustle is you keep the security that you maybe need financially with your job or the thing that employs you at this current time, and you try the new thing in a small way. And I have a girl in my life right now who I've been kind of working through some stuff with. And she's like, I just don't have a lot of time. And I'm like, but that's what's beautiful about a side hustle is let's say you can only dedicate one Saturday per month. You know what that Saturday is. You advertise about it on your socials and let that one appointment fill up. And once that one appointment fills up, See if you liked it. See if it
Mm-hmm.
was a good use of your time. See if it felt like the money exchanged for that half day, of service was
Was
worth it
worth
for you.
it. Mm-hmm.
And keep your job. And then maybe move it up to 2 Saturdays afternoons a
Mm-hmm.
month. And then maybe 4 Saturdays a month. Like you might hate working on Saturdays and not want a side hustle at all. And that's
Mm-hmm.
fair. You don't have to have one if you don't want to have one. But you did not go and burn the boats. You did not invest all of your financial security into this idea. Because, like I said, I touched on a little bit earlier, is like the simple math on it. It seems like, well, if I only got 10 women who I coached for, and they bought my program at $5,000 for 6 months, and you come up with this number that's going to be a guarantee for you. If you haven't built up a community of believers in your services, finding 10 women to spend $5,000 could be a
It's
tough
really
sell.
hard.
Yeah, it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
really hard at the beginning. So find one woman
Mm-hmm.
and work with her on an hourly basis, or
Mm-hmm.
work with her on a small package that she'll buy into, maybe for $1,200 or something like that. So that those are the things that a side hustle lets you test the market
Mm-hmm.
in a safe way.
Absolutely. And I think it also like unlocks whether you're designed to be an entrepreneur or not.
Hmm.
Because not everybody
Exactly.
has what it takes. Not everybody has the risk
Yep.
tolerance. Not everybody has the like, the all the things. Like you have
Yeah.
to wear so many hats as an entrepreneur that
Yeah.
it's a big learning curve. And if some people just aren't ready for it or they don't want to do it and they
Well,
don't
I
know
met,
that about themselves until they're
yes,
fully submerged in it or fully immersed in it. And then they have to be like, oh, it's me that has to do the accounting. No, absolutely
exactly.
not. I
Well,
don't want
that's
to.
exactly it. So I had a photographer that I use all the time, and for my interior design photography, and he works for an agency. And I said to him, at this point, your clients, like, we're calling you back. We're not necessarily tied to that agency. Why don't have you ever thought of going out on your own? And so basically I was asking him, and he's like, oh God, no. There's nothing about going out on my own that I'm interested in. He's like, I would like to make more money, but I know that money comes at the cost of him having to file his own taxes, get his own T4s, get his own,
Mhm,
you need to put a system in place to be an entrepreneur. And
mhm,
he's like, I have no interest. I am an employee. I know that about myself. I want to show up to work. I want to take the pictures, and then I want to leave work and let someone else deliver them to the client. I want somebody else to, and at this agency, they even edit for him. So
oh,
so he literally just takes pictures, and that's what he loves. He's like, I won't do more. And I thought, you know what? Good for you for knowing that about yourself. Because, and
mhm,
he said, he's like, I did it for about a year, and wearing all the hats and having to do all the client follow up and find your own customers and marketing and accounting and bookkeeping and, you know, tax remittance and all the things. He's like, it's just a horrible existence that I want nothing to do with. He's a creative.
yeah,
He doesn't like that. So I was like, good for you for knowing this about yourself, sticking with it, and finding an agency that you love working for.
totally. I also think that it can be like a really empowering experience too for other people. Like if you've always worn the title of something, whether that's like stay at home mom or worn the title of like, well, I'm the I don't know the admin at my job or I'm the CEO at my job. If you've always like attached yourself to some kind of a label and then
Yeah.
you start this side hustle and you find this whole new other side of yourself and you're like, wow, I didn't know this about myself. It can be this really like empowering journey. Like I see this all the time on social media where it's like, the person's just living their life and they've attached to whatever their title is. Let's for this example, we'll say like a stay-at-home mom. Then all of a sudden they start their side hustle and they've got like a spring in their step again. They have like a reason to get excited in the
Mhm.
morning because they kind of just got into the routine of whatever that title was. And then this brings like new life. And
Yes.
so I always think that I'm like, how could that possibly be a bad thing to like
Yeah.
break up the mundane with something new and exciting, especially if it's like advantageous financially or
Hmm.
in other ways for your family.
Well, that's just it. I sat on next to a plane, next to a girl on a plane, like probably a year ago, and she was just saying like she doesn't know how other families go on summer vacation and do the things they do and put their kids in all the sports. She's like, my husband and I both work. We make average wages. We just don't have anything extra left over. So her and I decided to follow each other on Instagram. And as the months went on, she found herself a side hustle. Like that day, of course, I was like, what do you love? What else is there out there for you? What's on your heart? What's your dreams? Because she didn't care about her job. She liked that it provided her family a financial freedom, or like not freedom, sorry, financial security enough to pay
Ability,
bills.
yeah.
Um, but it wasn't giving her anything past that. She wasn't in a position to move up, make more, nothing. So she's like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden I saw her find something that she loved. And she started talking about it on Instagram. And then she started talking more about it on Instagram. And then next thing you know, she had like a whole thing going on, and she was getting her nails done. And she was doing these little things that I know made her feel good about herself, her life. And those were obviously things that she always wanted to do, but wasn't in a position financially to do. And she certainly wasn't going to get her nails done at the cost of her kids playing soccer, or
Mhm.
getting to go to the zoo for the day or something during summer vacation. And I thought, good for you. You literally found a way. You figured out that extra 1,000, 2,000, 4,000. I don't know what she makes, but extra money that will change your life. It'll change your family's
Mhm.
life, and it'll change your kids' life, because they'll have a mom that's happier, and a mom that's empowered, and a mom that's
Mhm.
excited about her future. And that, because the way she was talking on the plane was basically, it wasn't in the cards for them. And I'm like, no, girl, it's in the cards for you. Like, you have to know it's in the cards for you. It's in the cards for anybody. It's in the cards for anybody. And you want to know what she did that I was very proud of her about? Was be consistent in her marketing. She
Mm,
talked
yeah.
about it, and she talked about it, and she talked about it, and she's still talking about it. And that's amazing, because that's the hard part, is to get on there and say the same thing every day. You
And
know?
the hard part is to get on there and then receive all of the backlash, all of the
Yes.
criticism. Oh my God, all you ever talk about is whatever it is, and still be consistent. Because I can't
Or
imagine if somebody got up there every day or someone sent me a rude message every single day about
Mhm.
my side hustle or my jobs, and we're like, you're
Yeah.
such a idiot for believing in this, or oh, just
Yeah.
another scam, or whatever
Or
the like negative
you think you're
connotation
so
is.
great because
Mhm.
you've done this, or whatever it looked like. But yes, you get the
Staying
backlash.
consistent through that and believing in yourself enough to keep going, even though there's so much noise. Like,
Mhm.
you got to give those people props. Like,
Of
I
course.
do. And I always think that it's such a commendable thing to do, to just stay in it. Like, whether I
Yeah.
agree with your business or I don't agree with your business, or whether I support your business because I love the product or I don't, or I love the service or I don't, I always still think like, good for you. Good for you
E
for just like showing up every single day.
exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
I can't show up on social media consistently. And I
Me
don't
either.
have,
I
I
don't
mean,
want to.
I have the odd hater, but I don't have people writing me all the time being like, you're such a
Yes,
loser or
for
whatever
sure. For
feedback they
sure.
hear, right? I
Well,
can't
and that's
imagine if I
something.
also had that.
Exactly. And that's something too that I think happens, is the more forward you are in talking about your exciting new things, and then your successes as a result of them. I think people do give you the hate mail and the
Oh,
like,
they see it as
must
their
be
own
nice.
personal, yeah, they see it as their own personal invitation to like enter into the chat. Like, if you've
And yeah,
said, oh, I've made this much money this month and I'm so proud of myself, and you could also make this much money a month, well, that is a trigger for those, for the haters in the world that are like,
yeah,
wow, if you don't want my opinion, don't put it all over social media. And I
yeah,
just fully disagree. 110% disagree with that like thought process. I always think good for you, whether I agree with their business or love their
totally.
business or don't love their business. I still think good for you for going for it.
Well, exactly. It's none of my business if I'm not interested in your product or your service.
Absolutely not.
Like, carry on. And there's people who are, and that's
Mhm.
how the world works. Like not everybody buys everything. And gosh, if they did, I hope that I'm the owner of it. Like
Well, and isn't it
whatever that
interesting?
thing is.
Before social media, the only advertising there was like news, radio, like print, newspaper,
Yes.
radio, and television. And like, did you hear people being like, "What? Charmin's got a commercial? I hate Charmin toilet
Yeah.
paper. What
Yep.
losers? Why would they do that?" Like
Yes,
nobody
exactly.
nobody thinks like when they hear an ad for a car dealership on the radio, they don't like immediately get on their computer and are like in a fit of rage. How dare you, Ford, for advertising? I only drive Dodge trucks, and this is ridiculous that I would even hear your voice when I don't want to wake
Yeah.
up to that in the morning. Like, but why we feel like when there's a person attached to it and it's social
Mhm.
media that it's our God given right to give our feedback on their marketing,
For sure.
wild to me.
It's wild. Well, and the negativity of it. If you are saying negative things to people or have a negative thought every time you see somebody, it is within your right, rather than write them a message, stop following them. You are a free person you don't have to look. You don't have to see it. Take yourself off, you know? Um, Also, if somebody is writing you negative things all the time, just block them. Like I think that
Block
I've never
that.
blocked someone, I've never blocked anybody, but if somebody consistently said negative things towards me, I would absolutely not have room for that in my life. And I stand so firm in that. Like the boundary is
Mhm.
strong. Um Also, if you're wanting to say mean things to people on the internet, find out why within yourself. It has nothing to do with the person, it's to do with you. That's the
Yeah,
whole story. Like
totally.
that is the whole story. And I'm like you, I totally am like the biggest supporter of anyone following their dreams, whether it's like becoming a public speaker, whether it's writing the book, whether it's starting in the business, whether it's creating the product, whatever it looks like. And when somebody like puts a sale on of even something that isn't I'm not going to go get like back to school photos for my kids because I don't have kids. But I like the idea. I'm like, good for you. That's a great idea. I'll write somebody and say, brilliant idea. There's so many
Mhm.
people that just want to get a quick picture where their kids are all messy haired and summery, and what a great like tradition to get into. And I'm sure summer's not a very busy time at the end of summer for a photographer. Great way to bring in people by giving them, mini session. Beautiful.
Mhm.
And like I'll write the person that and just think like, or just say like, what a smart idea. Love it.
Mhm. Sometimes
And
I write people unsolicited business advice,
me too.
like
Or ideas. I have to
ideas,
get
because I'm
ideas
like,
from
I'm not
people.
in this world, but you know what I
Yeah,
would buy? I would buy like
exactly.
if you're a photographer, this is what made me think of it. If you're a photographer and you're willing to like hire a Santa and go do special Santa photos, I am gonna be the first in line because I
Yeah,
don't want to go to the mall. I want to have like a
exactly.
really beautiful, cute experience where I come in for 30 minutes or less and we get a few photos and then I can buy and it doesn't say like the mall's logo on the bottom and I can actually cherish the photo and put it up in my living room for years to come. But the second
Exactly.
it's like a 4x6 and it has like a logo on it, it's going in the bin or it's going,
Yeah.
at best on the Christmas tree in an ornament, but probably not. So I just like whenever I think of like a brilliant idea that I'm like, hey, this business maybe she needs
Hmm.
to know, or maybe he needs to know that like
Exactly.
I'm your ideal client and this is a thought that I had for you. I always do that. And if they
Me
don't like it,
too.
they just won't listen. And if they do, they're like, thanks.
Well, that's just it. Or usually people are like, "LOL, of course you think I should start the business." Like my poor friends, they get regular ideas about ways that they could. But this is the thing for me. I'm a problem solver. So,
Mhm.
if someone comes to me and is saying, "I don't have enough. I want to make more." I am not actually a believer in being like, "Okay, well don't have Starbucks anymore, stop showering so much, your water bill's not so high." Like I don't want you to cut out the few
Every
things that you
luxury in
do
your life.
love, the dinner out with your friends once a month.
Yes.
I want you to make more money, and I want to see you thrive through
Hmm.
the financial hard times. So that's what a side hustle to me, it gives freedom of finances. It gives you that $500 because some people, $500, $1,000 will change their actual life. And then other people are looking to make 10,000 more dollars or 20,000 more dollars and like build it up to that. And that's amazing too.
And if you see somebody doing something that you don't agree with, a business you don't agree with, just carry on. Even if it's like, even if it's something that like goes against your moral compass, just carry on. If you're
Exactly.
you know, if you don't agree with it, it's not, you don't have to
Buy it.
you don't have to support them, you don't, but
Yep.
there are people that might, so just go for it.
Exactly. And don't listen to the haters. If you are somebody that's thinking of doing a side hustle, do the thing that's on your heart. You have to follow your dreams and you have to believe in your own ideas, dreams, and just go for it. All right. Have a great week. We want to hear from you. If you have any side hustles on your heart and want to do like a fun little, you know,
if you want to share your side hustle, make a comment and say, this is my side hustle or this is my Instagram handle, so that people that are listening that are like, I want to support these people that are doing these side hustles, know what is up there.
Exactly. Go to the Ultimate Girls Trip on Instagram and follow us and comment on our last post. Have a great week.
Bye, guys.
We are so grateful you're here.
It would mean the world to us if you'll subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel and leave us a review.
If you want to hear more from us, go to proofitspossible.com to join our mailing list and find our social links so you don't miss a thing.
Thanks, and chat next time.